Hi, it's Kirsty again.
Today I'm going to do a case that was requested by one of my subscribers. Thank you very much for requesting this. It's a very interesting case, so sad. It's the case of LaVena Johnson. Now here's LaVena here. So I'm just going to go to Wikipedia, a little bit about LaVena. She was in the United States Army. She was a private first class in the Army. On the 19th of July 2005 at 7:30 in the morning, her parents were told of her death. Her death was ruled a suicide, but there has been a lot of things that don't make sense for it to be a suicide, and there's allegations of rape and murder, not suicide. So I've done a chart for the 19th of July 2005 at 7:30 in Missouri, where her parents got the news, and then I've rectified going backwards when I believe something happened to her, and that is in Balad, Iraq, where she was stationed at the time. So let's move on and have a look. So this is the chart for the 19th of July at 7:30 a.m. for Missouri. So it's very telling, this chart, and I'll just move it so you can see. As you'll note, immediately we have the moon at 29 degrees of Sagittarius. I just have to say, because it looks like Capricorn there, of Sagittarius, and that's conjunct Pluto. The moon is the co-ruler of LaVena. Now, in this chart in particular, the parents were notified, but they were notified about LaVena. So I'm taking the first house to be LaVena, and that is Leo. So the sun is representative of her. That's at 26 degrees of Cancer and fairly closely conjunct Saturn at 0 degrees of Leo. Over on the perpetrator or suspect side, we have Aquarius, and the natural ruler for Aquarius is Saturn. So both of the rulers of LaVena and a possible perpetrator are here. The Sun and Saturn conjunct each other. So that shows me that they possibly knew each other. So first of all, I just don't believe that this is a suicide. There's too many indicators. The moon paired up with Pluto here, that shows, I hate saying this, and please, if you're sensitive to graphic things, close your ears, but it indicates sexual assault and rape in an event chart. And then we have LaVena right next to the ruler of the 7th house here in the 12th house of hidden secrets. So I have no doubt that this is not a suicide. So I see a perpetrator here who is older than her and who is somebody that is perhaps higher ranking than her. And that's because Saturn here is just in front of her Sun there. So it's like he's just a little bit ahead of her, a bit higher up. Neptune in Aquarius on the 7th house cusp shows me that this person is likely a bit of a drinker or somebody who's not mentally well. This is also indicated by the opposition to Mercury in the 1st house here. So there could have been an argument at the time as well. Okay, so obviously that was when her parents were told. So I've gone back, well, you can't quite see it here, to 2:30 a.m. on that evening in Iraq to see what was going on, because we know that she was murdered on that day, the 19th, and her parents were told that day at 7:30. So she was murdered somewhere between that, the 19th at midnight and 7:30 in the morning. So at 2:30 we see the moon and Pluto getting closer together. It's moved into the 7th house. So that actually shows me that it's possible at 2:30 that something was going on. We now have Leo, which was initially on the ascendant, so ruling LaVena, is now the end of the matter. So that leads me to believe that at 2:30 there's problems. I'm not 100% sure whether she's deceased at this point in time, but Saturn here has moved into the 3rd house. Mercury and Gemini, which rules the 3rd house, is ruling this whole chart. So it seems, and then Mercury is conjunct the end of the matter. So it seems at this point there is still arguing and fighting going on, and this is between them. I think that someone's made a pass at her, an older person, and she said no, she's not interested. And this person's lost their mind and has attacked her, and viciously too. We've got Mars here in Aries, which shows wounds and gunshots and knife marks and stabs and all sorts of things, bruising and blood type issues. So this is an overkill situation here. So I believe at 2:30 or a little bit, maybe a little bit afterwards, something was happening, and yeah, I really don't believe, as I said, that it was suicide. I see a big grand trine here in fire, which shows me that there's some anger, there's sexual tension with a perpetrator, and there's an older male that is trying to get her to do something that she doesn't want to do, someone in authority. There's no doubt about that it's somebody in authority. When Saturn rules a perpetrator, as it did in the other chart, Saturn is authority. It is a higher ranking person. It's a police officer. It's a judge. It's, the people that tell you what to do. That's what Saturn is. So that Saturn and the Sun making a square here to Mars, which then is triggering off a big grand trine, is anger towards a situation that didn't go his way. So he's taken what he wanted his own way and then made it look like a suicide, which Neptune up here on the MZ shows us exactly at 16 degrees. It's like, let's show the world that this is a suicide and not a murder. It's so sad. Actually, the more I look at it, the more it looks like 2:30, something really actually did happen then, and perhaps she was deceased not long after then. With that Neptune there on the MZ, it shows us the lies that the public has been told. It shows the anger, the arguments, the sexual assault, rape, and overkill. And I truly hope that LaVena Johnson gets justice and the person that did it gets caught. Thanks for watching, and I'm so sorry it's such a horrible case again. It's quite a clear-cut set of charts, so thanks guys, take care, bye.